Hello and welcome to the Pink Hair Girl podcast. My name is Sally Jane and I'm joined by
Cara.
Some of you will know Cara from the Knit All the Things podcast. Have you changed the name yet, or are you still called the Knit All the Things?
No, because I'd have to change the link on every other episode that's
Okay,
online
so,
or something.
yes.
I don't even know. Or the start wouldn't make sense.
Because you're not really about knitting all
I
the
think
things
I just
anymore.
didn't mention it last time. I just said, hi, I'm Cara.
Okay, so you
just
didn't make a
avoided
big
it.
thing of the name.
Yeah.
Well, that's probably a good idea. I started watching Cara's podcast when she was in university, and I think, it is. How many years ago is that now?
That would have been
Oh, the stupid thing.
2014, 2015.
Okay, alright. So yes, and I've been following her podcast along her finishing university, etc, etc. So basically I've been following Cara's podcast for a while, and then this year, was it only this year?
Only
Beginning of
January,
this year,
yeah.
January. Cara came to visit us for the first time, and we're about to make a space in the cupboard for her to leave some of her belongings and get her a set of keys to the house.
I think I must have spent over a month of this year here now.
Collectively,
Once I leave this time, it'll be probably 6 or 7 weeks of the year that I've spent here.
Yeah, so Cara comes down for her holidays. But you weren't working when you originally came down.
No. No, it was just after I finished chemo.
And then she started working now, and now she can only come and visit us, sadly, during school holidays. So she's on half term, which is slightly different because my kid's only on half term next week. But that's just, different counties seem to stagger it at different times, or however it works, I don't know.
I think Leicestershire doesn't match anywhere in the country.
Do the rest of the places match, more or less?
Yes, and Leicestershire doesn't necessarily match the Leicester City schools in terms of holidays.
Right. But you guys also have a middle school?
Not anymore. They're phasing out. They're all going up to GCSEs now.
Because friends of mine that are in just below Birmingham, Bromsgrove, they still have a middle school.
Yeah, there are still some around, but the vast majority of them were picking up GCSE students now. Not so many are doing A-levels because you don't get as much funding for A-level pupils, but...
Really?
No.
You'd think, I don't know. The school system here still baffles me, I haven't got a clue. I'm still figuring it all out. My kids are still at school.
They've not rage quit yet.
A whole, how many? 2 weeks later? 3 weeks? 3 weeks? 2 weeks, 3 weeks. 3 weeks. Their third week, going into their third week. Although Rachel is off sick today. But I was that mean mother that sent her to school first. And then she had to be unwell enough for them to send her home. And then I went to go and collect her. I kind of told you have to have a raging fever, be vomiting or have diarrhea. Like something acutely contagious at that time. She does get migraines, or what do you call them? Migraines.
I would call them a migraine, but...
So did I at the same age. My dad gets them. Yeah, it's kind of... But sometimes they respond to taking some paracetamol or whatever, and then she'll feel better, and sometimes they don't. So I dosed her up with some medication this morning, sent her off and said, I will fetch you if this, if it gets worse and you don't. But apparently both the lessons that she had a sociology and then she had textiles. Sociology teacher said she looked awful. The textiles teacher said, go to the sick bay.
Yeah, I don't want
you here. Oh, this screen timer thing. I don't know
Does
how
it
to
still
fix
film
it.
when the screen goes off?
Yes, but
Okay.
you can't see yourself.
We're in frame, it's fine.
Yeah, so you don't always know if what you're showing is focused, or those kind of little things.
Oh, I see.
Anyway. Yes, so they sent her home, and I have put her straight to bed. Actually, when she came out of the school, she was like this, because we're actually really bright, sunny, hot day today, surprisingly. The weather's doing very strange things. Well, it's been typically autumnal, isn't it? That kind of very changeable, windy, hot one day, cold the next, etc., etc., being exactly what it should be at this time of year. But warmer than average, I think.
Yes. Yeah, it's been a bit warmer.
Yeah. So she's gone straight to bed. But otherwise, no, I think they've been doing been doing okay, actually. It's a new adventure, and yeah, they'll figure it out. So yeah. I guess we better actually show you some crafting things. Since this is what most people watch these kind of podcasts for.
Why have you got the beavers jumper?
Because I thought I would sew on the badge that Titus is supposed to have sewn on by this afternoon while I was talking.
Okay, fair enough.
It wasn't a great craft project I wanted to show. I have to literally take this off and put this on.
Can you not just put it over the top?
No, because sadly they're slightly different sizes.
Why does he not? Why is that one not allowed anymore?
Because this was a specific event at Bazaars, and they were supposed to wear it like the month before and 2 months after or something.
And you can't even wear it in memory.
No, you do, but it goes on your campfire blanket.
Okay.
So they make a big campfire. All the badges they take off go on their campfire blanket, because they also get these ones here are staged badges.
Oh,
so this has a 5, but you may get 10 eventually, or you may get, so you get higher. This will be your nights away, I think, and then eventually you have more nights away. So you take these off. All the ones you take off, you can put on your campfire blanket. And so when you finish beavers, these little yellow ones that were only specific to beavers go on your campfire blanket. And then when you finish cubs, you add those. And when you finish scouts, you add those. Yeah.
It's a Jaffa cake. No, Jaffa orange.
Yes, it's hilarious because some of them are sponsored. So you'll see that one's got Jaffa underneath. That one's got Heathrow. Why, I don't know. There was another one that was, I think that might have been on the Scout or Cub jumper. This one is the healthy
That's Jenna.
The healthy eating one is sponsored by the Jaffa Cakes. Which, do you get Jaffa Cakes in the rest of the world? You don't in South Africa. So it's like a spongy. Is it a biscuit?
Okay, no.
No.
There is research. I can't remember if it was a biscuit or a cake. Do they go dry or soft when they... Okay, they go hard when they're stale, so they're a cake. It's an actual thing. They are a cake. Anyway, it's like a disc of cake. And then a layer of orange jelly.
Yeah.
Actual jelly.
Not
jam jelly.
Yeah. Like solid...
Jello?
Jello, yeah.
But no gelatine because they are vegetarian.
Okay, so what do they set them with then?
Veggie gel, agar, dunno.
Ah, okay.
And then chocolate over the top.
Of jelly or gelatin kind of consistency sort of thing, yes.
Yeah, and then chocolate.
Why did I just take that one off? I just took the wrong badge off. I'm not
healthy eating.
I've just taken his Jaffa Cake healthy eating off. Never mind.
One of my sisters is a Girl Guide and she's got a chocolate badge. Where she earned that badge by sampling various chocolates.
Excellent. We don't have a chocolate badge. I think I need to make some noise. I really think the beavers should be able to sample some chocolate for a badge. Yeah. So yes, they get these sort of. Some of them are sponsored, and So Jaffa Cakes are quite a British thing. They're very nice.
Yeah.
I didn't realise, but something which to me would be a very simple biscuit, which I didn't think they'd make quite so much fuss, but Caleb says the children will chase him in the playground at lunchtime to eat his chocolate digestives.
Oh, yeah.
He said he's got to hide them, otherwise the kids will... It seems to be like there are so many more posh or fancy biscuits. It's like a chocolate digestive.
It's the chocolate that's the difference.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Okay. So if I sent him with a normal digestive, it wouldn't cause such
But would he want a normal digestive?
No. So...
Normal digestive's best purpose is to have with cheese and a slice of apple.
Apple? I can understand the cheese. What do you do with the apple?
Together.
On top of it?
Yeah. Cheese and apple, it's a thing.
My dad used to make cheese and jam sandwiches. Like, cheese and jam was his big thing.
To each their own.
Yeah.
But no, because you get like cheese and grapes, it's basically the same thing. It's just, cheese and grapes is a thing.
But not on something, like on a platter where you have a piece of cheese and grapes and figs and a cheese platter, but I wouldn't
but you pile that up on a biscuit. At Christmas, you'll get the boxes of Jacob's biscuits with cheese.
Right. Yeah.
And you'll have them often with like grapes or apples or something.
Yes, next to it, yeah.
But you eat it all together. You have all three in your mouth at once.
Okay, I'm not sure I have all three in my mouth at once.
It's nice.
Maybe I need to broaden my horizon. I like cheese platters and figs and all of these sorts of things with them.
Well, people have cheese on Christmas cake as well.
Haven't done that either. Cheese on Christmas cake.
Yeah, it's nice. Cheese like improves most things.
This is true. This is true. It's one of the things with eating less animal protein that I find quite hard, really. The whole cheese business. Now I feel like I've left the needle behind.
Where are they?
In that tin, that long boxy thing. That's the one.
Have some boxes.
Thank you. Right. So I'm sewing this on, but we do actually have some related to knitting and crafting and sewing stuff to show you guys. Where's the needle? Here we go. I have some yarn I have acquired, which doesn't happen very often. I have a destash that someone was getting rid of. Someone came to visit me recently. Is still visiting. Now this is
Baby Llama.
What company is this?
Oh, Mirasol.
Okay. Mirasol, and this is
Miski.
Miski.
Yeah.
Baby Llama. In the without a name.
It's antique bronze.
Antique bronze. There we go. And it's kind of like a
purple and brown. I'd say.
Yeah. So these are the skeins. Now, Cara found that this made her sneeze and generally itch and react to it.
Oh, see the fluff coming off it now.
There's vegetation
dead plant.
Yeah.
Can't keep a plant alive either.
So I got this from Cara when she came. She said, would you like this? And I thought, well, that will make a nice quick project. Being slightly thicker. Wait. What is it? Worsted weight? Aran weight?
Let me check.
5mm needles. So I'm thinking...
It's quite fluffy though, so
yeah,
it might even be more than that. My notebook, stash. What would I do without Ravelry?
75 meters for 50 grams. Yeah. Bulky maybe.
Worsted, apparently.
Okay. Yeah. So yes, I've got some
but
of these.
I think you could do it quite loose because of the halo on it. If you needed it to go further.
So I got this bag of yarn.
You might want to do it quite loose because it'll be very warm as it's basically alpaca.
Yes. Yeah. So I got that, which will be fun to make something with. And then I got a surprise box in the mail.
I'm excited to see these. I've not looked yet.
This arrived.
Oh wow! No, you now have what, 500 project bags?
Yes. Only. What did I do with the card?
Don't know.
Left it in the room somewhere. Anyway, this box of stuff is from Junie B, who is one of Sally, who was Wool Diaries, who's now
Sally is TM.
Sally is TM, yes. And it was sent by Junie B, but it's kind of on behalf of, or in memory of, a friend of theirs from their knitting group in Texas that died of cancer. I want to say earlier on this year. I can't remember exactly. But it was, and Miss Pammy had an extensive stash, and they thought that the best way, and she was a very friendly, bubbly person and really liked to interact with knitters and things, and they thought the best way to kind of share the love and the memory and all the rest would be to share her stash with people. So this is all the stuff I got.
One of those is calling to me.
So,
that is
I know,
gorgeous.
This is
oh, of course it's Western Skynets.
yes, Western Sky Knits, and it's called Wise Owl.
Does it focus?
Yeah, it does.
Oh, there you go. Get over your face and it'll focus.
Yeah, it doesn't. If you got a face there, it doesn't like it.
Anyway. There we go, it's nice.
Yeah, it's lovely. So there are two of those. And then in this bag, I got so much stuff.
You've got so much sock yarn.
I know.
I've been in your stash hoard.
The problem is I have an awful lot of single sort of sock yarn skeins. Not an awful lot of anything that you could make
anything
a sweater
else
from. This is Rock and Strings. Christmas at the Cabin. Oh, that actually is quite Christmassy if you think about it. I might make those for Christmas socks actually. I don't have specific Christmas socks planned, but I might do that. What's this one?
It doesn't have a tag.
There was one or two that didn't have a tag. This is just some blues, greens and browns.
Oh, this is
very pretty.
This is a merino cashmere nylon.
Oh, you can feel that. That's lovely. This has got.
So it will make beautiful socks for all of.
I bashed the camera and turned the whole lot off. And we were talking about this one that has superwash merino, nylon, and cashmere. So it's an MCN, and it's by Savvy Skeins. It's called Venice Beach. And while we were waiting for the other bit of it to save, we were just talking about how nice cashmere socks are to make and to wear, but they do pill. They do pill rather terribly. So the debate is whether you then use it to make something like a shawl instead.
I say no. I say make your fluffy socks and
make comfy socks.
Ignore the pills, because part of the reason they're so pilled is because they are also my most worn socks because they're the softest.
The softest and the most comfortable. This is true. I mean, they can be your sort of house slipper socks.
I've got shoes on when I leave anyway. Who's seeing them?
Yeah, true. This one doesn't have a label. This is kind of pink, blue, purple, brown sort of thing. This feels like it's got, I might be wrong, maybe it's just the way it's plied, but it feels like it might have something, a slight shine to it. I'm not sure. Maybe it's just the way it's plied.
It's very
I wonder
tightly
if there was
plied.
a tiny bit of silk, but I'm not sure. It's not quite shiny enough. Don't know. Anyway, and then there is this one, which is Woolly Wonka.
I'm surprised that's not trademarked.
Well, yeah.
Or copyrighted, or whatever you do for fictional characters.
Okay.
Oh, it says self-striping.
It does,
Awesome.
So it's a self-striping, and it is also merino cashmere nylon.
I might have to
shop in my stash again.
Shop in your stash and send some of the money you already sent me back on paper.
Well, seeing as I didn't pay for these, that seems a bit... And this is a Miss Babs Yummy.
Oh, I've heard of her.
Yes. Enough for 2...
Most socks. Yeah. Oh, that's beautiful.
Nice, hey? It's definitely a little greener in person. But that's
kind
not
of a sage green rather than mint.
Yeah. But so that's what I got. Isn't it amazing? And that was the yarn I got.
Yes.
And then I got a bag that, because Magic Junie Sews. June makes project bags which she sells.
Don't look at the price tag on it.
And so she sent me a lovely bag.
It's gorgeous.
Look, isn't it nice?
I like the clip off. You could almost put that on your keys.
Yes, I know. Nice, hey. So there is the project bag she sent me. So wasn't that so kind? And, you know, Miss Pammy knew loads of people in Texas, so I can imagine if they've shared out the stash with everybody there and they still had some left to send to little old me.
What's the acronym they use on Ravelry? Like Sable or something? Stashed beyond life expectancy or something like that. Where people have got
more
rooms of yarn.
Yeah. More than you could ever net. So, that was a very nice surprise this week. Yes, I always feel bad because I know I have a lot of yarn that, or maybe more than I might get a chance to always knit, but I don't always have exactly what I want when I want to. I am trying to be very good. I haven't bought yarn in a very long time, unless it was for a specific design that needed something, you know. But I have tried hard not to. I'm kind of into wanting to knit sweaters, and I've got very few sweater quantities. But I do have a few, and I've now got the yarn from Cara as well, so I've got another potential sweater quantity of yarn there. So, yeah, that's my yarn acquisitions. Have you bought anything recently?
I bought the yarn for this.
Ah, you did, that's right. And what are you making?
Oh, funny that. So, if you follow Sally at all, you should recognise this. It is the Be Brave wrap, with some modifications, as the pattern is specifically designed for that anyway. I made mine about 2/3 of the width, so the original pattern calls for 180 stitches, and mine is 120, so exactly 2/3, because I wanted to finish it. And I know what I like. So I thought I'll make it a third easier.
Yeah.
And once you're wearing it as a scarf, I don't think that's anywhere near too narrow.
Yeah.
Anyway, as it hangs on the bias. So here is what I've got.
You're making some sections shorter as well, huh?
Yes. The lace arrows section, now this isn't to do with the pattern. I was doing it first of all at about 10:30 at night, and after a day of actual work, not just messing around in the house, and I was making mistake after mistake, and I was just getting angry with it, and so I only did 3 sets of arrows instead of 6, because I was getting annoyed, and knitting is not my job.
No, it's supposed to be fun. Exactly.
Yeah,
if you're not enjoying something, that's the whole point of it. If you like to section, do more. If you don't like it, do less.
Yeah.
Leave it out. You know, that's the whole point.
Yeah. So because it's on the bias and it's always got the same stitch count, you can just cut in and out as you so wish. So I just stopped the lace early and moved on to this fun slip stitch bit. Oops, at the underneath of the bed. I live quite near to Wool Warehouse. I say quite near, 45 minutes.
But it's doable.
It's
closer than me.
Yeah.
I would like to.
And
no, actually, I probably wouldn't like to live close to a warehouse.
I'm glad
Sounds like a dangerous thing.
I'm glad I don't live any closer. And what you do is kind of like Argos.
Okay.
It's very strange. So you go in and they've got this showroom where they've got one. Is it skein or skein?
I say skein.
I say
but
skein,
I don't know.
but I don't know where I got that from.
I think other people say, I don't know.
Anyway.
You all know what we're talking about, so it's just
they've got various samples of a lot of the different types of yarn that they stock there.
Okay, so you can still squash it and feel
Yeah, you can squash it. It won't be the right colour because they've just got one out of each around the sides. I think I took a picture and sent it to you, but I don't actually remember.
Right.
So yeah, they've got them around and you can give them a squish, and then they've got computers, and you go on and you get the name of the yarn and the product and the code of the colour.
Yeah.
Or the name of the colour that you want to look at, and someone goes into the back, like at Argos, brings them out, you have a look, and you say, right, I'll have these ones and I won't have those ones. And they take whatever you don't want back up, and then you buy what you wanted. So I got a couple of what I thought would be the right colours on different bases, or there were just slight variations to pick the ones that I actually wanted, because like one of them was not the right yellow at all.
Did you go with an idea of what palette or colours you wanted?
Yeah, I'd already pretty much decided what I wanted. I was ready to be swayed if there was something that turned up.
Okay.
But is your phone ringing or just texting?
No, just beeping.
But I knew sort of what I wanted. So I had a look and I had them bring them down. And then what I went with, because I knew that my tax return was coming soon, so I knew that there was going to be some spare money in the account. There's never spare, there's always debts and bills, but actual accessible money. So I thought this is quite a big project. I'll be working on it for a while. I want to enjoy the yarn I'm using, etc, etc. And so what I ended up with is this, which is a mystery tweedy yarn. It's pale, so it won't focus on it properly because it's undyed. I don't even know whose face to cover, but there it is. You can probably see it a bit better there. That's tweedy and it's undyed. And then I've got this is Malabrigo sock. And not quite the right colour on here. It's kind of grey and yellow. Or how would you describe it?
Yeah, because some of it goes into sort of bluish. Yeah. But yeah, grey, yellow, bluish, very nice.
But it doesn't read as anything other than grey when you just look at it. And then I've got red in the same base, which is the Malabrigo sock still. It's really hard to find kettle dyed or like that sort of dyed yarn where you can actually look at it. Because it's all on like indie dyers on Etsy and stuff, and once you've bought it from Etsy, you're stuck with it, basically. That kind of leaves Malabrigo, really. I can't think of what else there would be. Certainly in that price range. But so there's red. This is Botticelli red, and again, it's definitely a warm toned red, the yellow based red.
Yeah.
And the last one in this base is this. Now this is definitely not showing up the right colour.
No, that's a really warm mustard colour.
Yeah. This one is ochre. And I don't know why I'm looking at it and not the screen, but there you go. I'm not used to being able to see myself.
Can you not see yourself when you record?
I film on my phone.
Okay.
And I film with the back camera.
Ah, right. So
I set it up and then
hope for the best.
Hope for the best, yes.
Okay.
But this is all washed out, but it's definitely a bright, rich yellow. And then the last one is a different base of the Malabrigo. This one's single ply, and this is teal. And again, much warmer than it's showing up on here.
I can try and adjust the colour sometimes to look simple.
The pictures are on my Instagram. Cara.b, Cara.bea.
I'll put the usernames thingy, the Instagram names on.
Yeah, and there are definitely links below. So that's what I'm knitting the Be Brave from.
Cool. Right, let me put this away for a second. What have I actually been knitting besides just acquiring stuff? Last time I think I showed you the stuff I got from the charity shop. So there's one, actually got 2 balls of, oh gosh, I can't remember what it's called.
Is it on Rav?
No, on Instagram actually. I think it's called Rico Creative. It is a wool acrylic blend actually, I think, but held double. It was a nice sort of bulky weight, and I made a rubies in my pocket hat. Just because I'd been knitting a lot of things on small needles, socks and never-ending sweaters and swatches and stuff, and I just fancied knitting something big in the middle of everything. And I know that Sally always tells me I mustn't cast on new projects when I've got so many unfinished.
Okay.
But I just really, really wanted to knit something bulky and quick, and so I did. I made the ribbing a lot bigger. The pattern says you can make it any length you like, but I made it bigger than I had originally made in the first one, because what I'm figuring out is when it's really cold, your ears actually, the wind can go through bulkier yarn, your ears can get really cold. So I made the ribbing able to be folded up, and then the hat still the full length. So I don't want it, what do you call it, baggy. I'm not making a baggy hat.
So the hat itself is longer as well.
Yeah. So I haven't actually seen any. I made the hat longer to compensate for the fact that this was tucked in here. I made the hat longer to compensate for the fact that I made the that I'll fold the thing up. So I made it to where it folded up rather than to have it slouchy. Slouchy, that was what I was looking for. Rather to have it than have it slouchy. So, that's not going to really work with my high pony, but anyway. So that is supposed to go over my ears to be double like that. Is the idea.
Have you got many of those pom-poms left?
I do have some still, actually.
Because didn't you not get like a big bag of them?
I did. From Wish. For about a quid. I think they were about £1. 12. And I did I did all the tests on them.
The burn test?
Yes, I did the burn test. And also, if you look at it straight like this, can you see that they're all straight on the top?
Yes, and the end doesn't taper off on the end at all.
Yeah, they all look like kind of cut straight. They don't taper up. An animal fur tapers towards the end if it was real.
Yes, because I was reading. Sometimes they actually just use fox fur because it's cheaper than the fake fur.
Yeah, and they also call, sometimes they call it fake fur. It isn't actually. So I was a bit dubious when I got it, and I wondered. I mean, look, it is essentially plastic now, but yeah, okay. It didn't hurt an animal, and it is still fluffy. You know, once you start getting into something that's 100% didn't harm anything, I'm not sure what we've got left, to be perfectly honest.
Cold in a ball crying.
Yeah.
You'll step on a bug if you leave the house.
Yeah. So you can, we're doing our best, but without being ridiculous. So it's not, no animal was owie for this one. And there's my hat, I quite like it actually. Even though I held it double, it's striped quite nicely. You know what the biggest problem is?
What?
My mother really likes this hat. She's now commented 3 or 4 times, seeing it on my desk, how much she likes this hat.
I don't think that yarn is terribly expensive. You could get some more.
It's not. No, it's not. But my mother does not get cold. That said, she probably hasn't done winter here. You need to go out and walk and your ears would still be cold. But she's not a person that gets particularly cold. So I wondered whether I should just give it to her. I actually quite like it. But yes, I should just get some more. I don't think it's very expensive.
You might see a colour that either you like more or your mum will like more.
Yes. But I think I'll get some more. And it was so quick to knit up. I think it was like 2 hours.
Yeah, all of your big hats patterns are really quick.
Really quick.
I've got some round big wool to make another one at some point.
And it's very satisfying to make a very big hat quickly. And they make great Christmas presents. I think I made 3 or 4 to give away for Christmas last year. And if I haven't given it to somebody this year, if I think of someone, I might make them one. I might actually make these bigger thingies this time.
Looks good.
So this potentially is mine or it's potentially my mother's, depending how I feel about it. I do have, in that charity shop thingy, remember this?
Oh, that was really pretty, yeah.
Yes. Now these are actually colours my mum really likes, and this is a 100 meters for 50 grams. It's actually the same weight. If I hold those two together, it's a very similar weight as to what I made this.
Pure wool, so it'll breathe better.
Yeah. So I might make another one and then see which one she liked better. So that's another option. I can make another one.
What colour pom-pom would you use?
Oh, I don't know. I've got... They're all sort of naturalish colours. I need to wind these. This is all coming off here. This is a...
You could find one... I don't know if you've got one that's sort of like a mustard brown. That would go.
I think there's a... I'm going to have a look what's in the pot. This is the Katia Merino Effects. So I might do that and then see which one she likes. Yeah, so that's an option. So that was all from my charity shop stash that I knitted that. Things that I'm supposed to be knitting. I spoke about Rachel wanting me to make a jumper for her, like a cable jumper for her, like the one that she'd had, but she didn't like the feel of it. So this is a mercerized cotton that I did a swatch in.
That's dried like a rock.
It is quite stiff, isn't it? I did it on a... The recommended needle size was 3 to 4, and I did a 3. Mostly because I was worried about the cotton stretching out of shape. I'm wondering if it could almost be a 3.5. Because it is quite hard, isn't it?
I think the combination of mercerised and a down navel size. Maybe. Your box of straws just fall off the windowsill.
So that was the one option that I could have done it in. I have a lot of this. This is what came in the charity shop box. Not particularly what I would choose to knit a jumper out of, but she actually said she quite liked how this felt. But I might make it a little bit looser. The cable is holding it in. It washed well. It held its shape well. I will do a test throwing it in the washing machine and see how it survives that. I did try another one in a, what I discovered was then discontinued, but it gives me an idea of what that sort of thing would do. This was called Rowan's All Season Cotton, which was 60% cotton, 40% acrylic, which is discontinued. Now, to me, that's actually much softer.
Yes.
It first of all knits up much quicker, but she didn't like this.
It's because she's very fussy.
She is very fussy.
Very fussy for someone who's not actually doing the knitting herself.
I mean, I would have said that that was infinitely nicer than this, but...
It will dry quicker around it as well.
It would go quicker. But I can see this potentially stretching out and being, you know, losing its shape quite quickly. So... Anyway, so what I've kind of settled on is, I think, going up a needle size. On this one, it's what she likes the colour. She wears this colour a lot. I don't have to buy anything. But what I may also do is, if I decide to make this into a pattern, is do a wool version as well. So there'd be comments for making a cotton version and comments for making a wool version. So that was the thought on that. So I have swatched that. I think this is the biggest swatch I've made in years. So I don't generally swatch stuff.
It'll now make a beautiful flannel.
Yeah. But I really did need to see what the cable was going to do, how much it would stretch if it did, and how it was going to behave. So I did a biggish piece of swatching for that. Yeah, so I think that exercise went fairly well, even though it was swatching. So yeah, I think I'm going to get a sock weight wool, what quite yet, I'm not sure, to do. Then I'll probably make myself a bigger version and make this one for her.
Indie Dyer's looking to collab. It's right.
Yeah, yeah. I'm very bad at asking though. Oh, it's one of those things I find very difficult about doing this sort of thing. But anyway, maybe I'll be brave, we'll see.
Be brave.
Be brave, exactly. Exactly. Okay, so that was that. Socks. I did finish one, and I should have bought a sock blocker because it looks like a little shriveled up tube otherwise.
Do you have one or two sock blockers?
Two.
Do you buy them in pairs?
That one I did, yeah. I don't know normally, but that one I did buy. So there's my... Oh, it's getting skewy now. Very elegantly posed on my arm. Sock, and this is the DNA pattern. Just show you this half because then you can see it. Light, there we go. So it's the kind of two ways of representing the DNA strand, helix thingy. These two, and then this one's different in the middle. And this one has a short row heels because it's colour changing yarn, and otherwise the other ones seem to mess up the colour thingy. But I'm going to re-knit it in a plain colour as well, and I might add a different heel on that one. So you have the option, if you were doing a stripy yarn and you wanted to do a short row heel, you could do that, but you equally put the heel from the, a more sort of heel flap and gusset kind of heel. So I include instructions for both of those.
So you're actually going to knit a heel flap and gusset? How long has it been since you've done one of those?
Oh gosh. Very, very long. Very long.
They
but
do.
I am a little tired. The problem is I get lazy and I know how to do a short row without thinking. But because I have high arches, actually heel flap and gusset does fit better. The other one I might do is like a deep pocket heel, which is a combination where you do some increases and then you do a short bit of short rows and then you do a...
Have you done the sweet tomato heel?
I haven't actually.
Did I show you my... Have I showed you my sweet tomato heel? They're on my... Oh, dead foot. Random scrappy socks. I showed you last time I was here.
I want to say yes, but I can't remember now.
You do like 3 wedges.
That's right, that's right.
And it makes a very bendy sock, but you do like a wedge and decrease and a wedge and decrease and a wedge and decrease.
Yeah. There's a very nice deep heel that I've got on the, I can picture them, they've got cables and cannot remember the name. I'll put the name along the bottom. That's got quite a nice heel. Anyway, so I'm going to investigate which heel I feel like doing and including on that one. So it'll be a different option. Anyway, I've just done the toe, started the toe for the second sock. But yes, I need to do the second sock and then an entire plain version.
And if you're going to knit an entire plain version, you may as well knit a pair, because what's the point of having one sock?
Yeah. I mean, a pair of... so I better actually get on with it.
Alongside knitting a jumper for Rachel and your jumper
and everything else. Yeah.
Everything else. Yeah.
Speaking of jumpers, I feel like there has been some progress here. That people should be well impressed with my sleeve progress. It's really not that much to be impressed.
Do you want me to grab that other yarn?
Oh yes, thank you. So this is the Never Ending Zweg sweater, and it's never ending, as Sally would say, because I don't knit on it, which is fair enough, you know. I think that's not too bad a colour thingy. So look, I think it was only over here last time. So that's a bit.
Have you not got a thing on it?
No, because that would be depressing. I'd actually see how much I did then.
Yeah.
So the question of this is whether I might run out of yarn for the very long sleeves that I need and the body, because I actually made the ribbing the suggested length, but it's flipping, as you can see there. Yeah. So I want to pull the ribbing out, I want to change it to a twisted rib, and I want to go down needle size, because I just feel that is going to annoy the daylights out of me.
Once you've gone down needle size, you might be able to get a longer rib just out of what's left there as well.
I might, yeah. But my friend Carol in South Africa, when she saw mine, sent me a couple of bits of brown that she had left over in case any of it was a good match or a good, you know, contrast for the sleeves in case I ran out. So I don't know quite how I'm going to hold this. Let's try this. So go like this.
I stand by the middle one. That's this one.
The end
best choice. Yeah.
Where did I put for the light? So there's a darkish one.
I don't know.
I'll take a photo and then I'll insert that of them lying on top of that, because it's going to be infinitely easier than trying to show it on here.
Does that help at all?
A little bit, hey. Anyway, this one's quite dark. Cara goes by this. Whoopsie! There we go. This one over here. If I ran out, that would make a quite nice contrast on the sleeves. So I might do that. I might not run out. We'll see. There has to be some progress on these damn sleeves to know that if I'm going to have enough.
Have you considered just being shorter?
What?
You being shorter?
Yeah, that would be great. I was going to say making a shorter jumper. I'm like, mad. The option of me being shorter seems a better one.
Yeah.
Than genetics, hey. Yeah. And my daughter's just dying to be taller. And I'm thinking, yeah, until you're actually as tall as your mother, and then you might not like it so much anymore.
She's not done growing yet anyway.
No. She just wants to be taller than... She just wants to be taller than the geek. She just wants to be taller than Emma. That's like her goal in life, is to be taller than him. Anyway, so this is my sweater that I haven't done terribly much knitting on. But I really want to wear it. I actually really like it. It's no fault of the sweater. It's just my potential inability to stay focused on anything for more than 5 minutes and not to have an idea that I suddenly want to do straight away.
I know I find it hard to work on something when there's a problem with it as well, because then you have to face the problem and do something about the problem.
Yeah, you mean the fact that I know I might run out?
Yeah, that's a bit of a barrier.
It may
or
well
it would be for me.
Yeah. But I do really want to wear it, and it's a lovely pattern, and I'm really enjoying it. I was just get on with it now. I just have too many ideas. And and then I need to knit a big hat, and then I need to start these DNA socks, and I want to make a...
Well, it's like my So Faded sweater. The single ply yarn on the bottom.
Yes.
I'm not sure it's going to work. So it's a problem. And so I'm not knitting on it.
That's gorgeous, though.
It is beautiful. I do need to...
The problem is that single ply goes so well with your other colours that I think that's part of the problem of... Could you find something else that wasn't single ply that would go as well?
I don't know. That's the thing, isn't it?
Anyway. So that's my sweater, which is a little bit further, but not terribly much. And I think that's probably most of what I brought to show you knitting-wise. What I did want to show you was... let's stretch over here. This yarn that my mum, last time my mum was here, I think it was last time my mum was here, I think it was close to the time that I had released the Winter is Coming in the bigger version, the Winter is Coming Grande shawl, so that's the big long one. This is the lace weight one, so it's a little bit shorter. The sock weight one is obviously a bit longer.
It's so beautiful.
It's nice, isn't it?
What is it?
It was something that my friend Ushi in Germany sent to me, and it's a German dye. I can't remember her name. And there was no, I remember trying to link it at the time, and there wasn't a specific website or anything. I think it was kind of someone she knew and had bought the yarn from it.
But what makeup is it?
Oh, it's a merino as far as I remember.
Is it?
No, I think it had some silk in it.
There's something extra in
Yeah,
there.
I think it had some silk in it as well. But it's, so it's a gradient lace weight.
It's so lush.
Nice, hey? And my mom got ordered, and then it hadn't arrived in time before she left. She ordered some drops flora, and this is alpaca and wool. 210 meters and 50 grams, so what, 420 and 100 grams, so also thinnish, lightish sort of soft weight yarn. So she got this one. I think she wanted to go light to dark, so I think she got one of the lighter ones. This one goes dark to light like that, but I think she wanted to go the other way around because she got one of the lighter ones and then more of the middle colour and then two of the darker ones for the end. I think that's how she planned to do it, like that. The two problems are, one, her arthritis isn't very good in her hands, so she's finding her hands to be very sore. So she's knitting tiny baby jumpers for charity, but not actually any bigger problems. And while this is sock weight, on the number of stitches and the needles and all the rest, I think it would probably... So I might have volunteered to make it for her. My dilemma is not making it for my mum at all. That's not the problem. I just told her the time frame might be rather lengthy.
Next winter.
Yeah. The issue is that it is 65% wool and 35% alpaca. And as mentioned earlier, my mother gets very hot. She doesn't actually get cold easily. And I'm worried that, do you think 35% alpaca is going to make her too hot?
I don't know, because
I mean, -2 is still
like
-2.
Body,
yeah.
But
if it's cold, it's still cold. If you're going to walk outside.
Yeah.
And what's nice about this one is the shape is like long. You know, it's longer rather than just really bulky. So she could just put it round her if she wanted to. You know, if she wanted to do it like that. Oh, that's completely silly now. You know, she could just do it like that, round her if she didn't want a lot. Or she's got the options to wrap it lots of times, or not so many times, depending on how cold she gets.
When you upgraded from the regular Winter is Coming to the Grande, did you essentially just make it wider rather than deeper?
Both. But essentially the the Winter is Coming is still quite a narrow, long edge. So it's crescent shape, but it's kind of, long like that. So it is deeper, but it essentially the rate at which it grows is still proportional to the thing. So this section is longer, and all of the sections are bigger, but it still grows.
Yeah.
Well, not exactly the same rate, because then it would be so long it would be ridiculous. So it is still proportionately, it's not exactly bigger, because if you did it just bigger, the shape started going wonky. I tried that.
There is always the option, as we discussed, this is my other
DK.
one, which is cotton. And the bottom could do with blocking. I didn't dry it properly. But because you can get, you get the cake yarns now. There are cotton ones where they are either striping or a gradient. You could do a gradient cotton
version
one.
Do the DK in the original pattern for her,
or in that, because I think there might be a fingering weight. I don't know.
DK in the.
But DK in that would be massive. But yeah, this is just DK.
Oh, you mean fingering weight in this one?
Or
cotton.
Either.
Yeah.
Either.
So I don't know, because she did buy this, but I need to discuss with her the options that this might actually be too warm for her. If she wants this, I'll make it. It's not a problem at all. Because they're potentially moving to England. This is the first time they've spoken really seriously about moving. So while she might not need it now, when she moves and's going to do winter, then sit on the couch over there if you want to.
What do you want, darling? No, we're not done.
Do you want to come say hello quickly? Right, come here. Who are you?
Titus.
I'm sure a lot of you know Titus, but this is my youngest Titus, for those that haven't seen him before. And he's been very good in playing on his own while we're podcasting. Where's your knitting?
Oh. Yeah, so that's 4-ply, and it's acrylic cotton, and it's a gradient.
That might be a good idea.
To zoom it in a bit.
Gotta go backwards, yeah. So those might be a good idea.
Because that middle one is like basically the
same thing.
Yeah. It's navy and white rather than grey.
And she likes navy.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll show her that and give her that option.
And it's a 200-gram ball.
Titus has been wanting to learn to knit, so he picked this. My sister gave me a box of acrylic which we made those God's Eyes with that I spoke about last time. And Titus picked this very bright green out of the box as to what he wanted to do some more knitting with. So we just need to finish this one stitch. It's not finished here. So there's Titus's knitting. You like knitting?
What are you making, Titus?
Maybe a little square.
A square. You're just practicing knitting.
Maybe I could make loads of little green squares and like sew them together to make one humongous blanket, and the sewing could be a different colour.
Do you know what green squares makes me think of?
What?
Minecraft.
You can make different colour green squares and make yourself a Minecraft blanket. Or you can make Willow a Minecraft blanket if it was a bit ambitious to make you a Minecraft blanket.
Why?
Well, just if you didn't want to knit as much for you, Willow's a lot smaller than you are. Right, off you go, we're nearly done.
Well, I could make this the grass.
Yeah.
You could.
Or an emerald.
Right, we'll see you in a bit. We're nearly done.
Hey.
So, yes, I think I'm going to give my mother the options, and then she must decide if she really actually wants.
Yeah, there's grey on there as well.
Oh, that's also nice, yeah. I think I'm going to show her that and see if she wants it. How much do you get?
200 grams. 800 metres.
Oh, that's actually enough, because this one was about 800 metres.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to give her that option. And then the other parcel I got in the post last week was from Vivi Knits, and she sent us a lovely card and some chocolates. Well, they were chocolates. I'm not like Sally, who's good and doesn't eat stuff before she podcasts. You know, it's just ridiculous. They were very nice chocolates for us. And then she sent some hats for the charity project for my mum to take back to South Africa. So there's a whole bunch of little, very sweet hats in here. Yeah. I know, they're lovely, aren't they? And some little bags. Somebody made some little bags. I think she did with a friend of hers. And thought that, you know, some of the little children might like those too, which I thought, I love this one.
Oh, it's like the Oh, I thought it was like the pussy hat, but it's not. It's got a
It
crown.
makes 3 sort of little points.
Yeah.
Very cute. And some more little purses and bags. Little girls love that sort of thing. To have a little purse or a little bag
and
to
put
something
lip balm
in.
in.
Yes. There's a whole bunch of hats. So
They're gorgeous. Oh,
they're nice. Hey?
is that like a worm hat?
This is like a worm hat. Hey?
That's lovely.
Yeah. There's a whole bunch of hats in here. And then little booties. Look at those. Tiny little booties. Because, yeah, unfortunately they were all ages in the hospital. Yeah. And whatever she can't use in the burns unit, the doctor passes on to anyone else in the rest of the hospital or the baby unit. If they've got some tiny baby hats. There was some last time a very small sort of preemie size, and she passed those on to the NICU. So yeah, that was very kind of her, and my mom's going to take that back with her when she goes now. When Rachel was in South Africa recently, she just did a drop-off at the hospital.
Did she?
Yeah.
Did she go and see them?
She did, yes. And they said they were running low, and they were very pleased to see her again.
I bet she's a fair chunk taller than the last time we saw her.
Yes, yes. She has suddenly shot up, hasn't she? She's kind of gone from... There is a big change from being 12 to being 14, isn't there? You know, there's a big sort of everything, growth, maturity, everything that you're kind of interested in, kind of going more from child to young, not quite young adult, but certainly knowing your mind more. Yeah, so that's what I've got, and that's what I've been working on. You've been doing sewing and all sorts of other industrious things.
I've got the socks that I made from your stash last time I was here.
Cara came to visit me last time and didn't bring any sock yarn or project to work on. She left it home.
I brought projects, but I brought a big project.
Yes,
I left my socks at home.
Yes.
So after we visited, we probably spent 2 hours at least driving around trying to find sock needles.
Yes.
And didn't because they were rubbish.
No, the yarn shop was closed, and John Lewis only had
zings.
Yeah, and a lot of them didn't have the right size.
Yeah,
and it was all a bit.
They don't seem to sell sock needles in John Lewis, or not in that shop anyway. But yeah, so they are. I mean, it's a mostly done pair of socks essentially for my feet. Where's my folded up foot gone? Let's have a look.
What have you got? Just a toe?
I mean, I've still got some of the foot to do. No, actually, it probably is about at the toe. Where's my heel go? Got a bend in my thing. So, that far.
Oh, right, not far.
No, not too far. And the yarn is...
That's Mothie and the Squid, I think.
Yeah, Mothie and the Squid. Tangerine Rainbow. And then they are 1 by 1 regular rib, and it does some jazzy stripes, and then you get to the heel and it all goes to pot, obviously, because I've done a normal heel flap and gusset heel.
And that's the only thing over the front of them, it kind of makes yarn go...
I don't always do a heel flap and gusset, and the pulling actually really doesn't bother me, so it's fine.
I think not on that kind of thing. I mean, they're bright and colourful anyway. I don't think that makes a huge amount of difference. I just don't like it when it interrupts stripes.
No. But so there's pulling on the cuffs as well, so yeah, happens in places. So those are the ones that I started. I actually knit. I closed the heel on my way back up, so I got at least that far on both socks in those few days. But the sock project I'd forgotten, I found it on the floor where it had fallen off my suitcase, is an even less done pair of
I remember you starting those
stripy rainbow ones, yeah. And they look very plain compared to fluorescent orange socks.
Ones.
But there you go.
But you need options and varieties depending on what you wear, or depending on what you feel like that day.
Yeah.
So there can't be too many knitted socks.
Because I don't wear my socks day to day a lot of the time. I have to get used to wearing knitted socks because I feel the bumps under my feet.
Okay.
And so I need to be in squishy shoes almost, if that makes sense. Like squishy soled shoes. Else I feel the bumps of the knitting on my feet.
Oh, no, I don't. I think I got rid of, besides if I'm wearing trainers and ankle socks, which I actually want to knit some of those, what are they called? Rose City Rollers or whatever. Yeah. Knitted ankle socks. I think I got rid of all my other socks. I only have knitted socks now.
I am one of those very strange and fussy people where I have to buy special socks that don't have a seam on the toes.
Ah, yes.
And
so the feel of them really bothers you if they're not right. Okay.
Yes. And it used to be that I had to, this is so niche, like special order them from Chinese shops on Amazon because that was the only place to find them. But recently Marks and Spencer's have done seam-free socks, so I can actually walk into a shop and buy them now. But yeah, I've got like sensory things to do with that. Any clothes with labels, the labels are taken out and things like that. But yeah, so I have to get reused to wearing knitted socks again and wear them with the right shoes. They're fine around home, but in shoes they sometimes are a problem.
Okay.
And I do actually have a finished object.
Ooh.
For the first time in a very long time that's not socks. And that is my house. I don't even know how you would show something. Cardigan.
Does it help?
And it's the damask rose pattern. You can see the lace on it a bit there. And I think this is Malabrigo as well. Just because it's the only place. I just feel like I can't find non-plain yarn very easily.
Yeah.
And despite the band looking a completely different colour, these are all the same colour of yarn. It just shows you the power of dye lots.
Yes.
So I clocked that was quite a bit darker straight away and saved that for edges.
It looks nice. It's a nice contrast though. Hey?
And this was languishing unfinished for ages because I didn't want to knit the sleeves.
Yes.
I just didn't want to knit the sleeves. It was no good to me sleeveless, but I didn't want to knit the sleeves. But then I thought, it's the Prim Knitting Mill, and it does about 44 stitches around, I think. And I thought, you know what, I've not got anything to lose, I'll have a go at knitting my sleeve on that. And it worked out fine. Normally, obviously, you'd have shaping on the bottom of the arm, but that doesn't bother me enough to have actually knitted it myself still. So I did 2 tubes of pretty much the same length. I should imagine they're not exact. And then I grafted them on at the shoulder. One of them's grafted better than the other, but where is it that I did it? Here.
And the fact that you have to look for it carefully kind of...
Yeah.
You certainly don't notice it when it's on.
No.
You're wearing it,
So it's just Kitchenered on, and then I used a very much smaller needle. I think I went down to about 4mm to do the cuffs, to kind of draw it in without doing any decreases. Because it was more obvious before I washed it, but the sleeves looked like they were visibly a fair bit bigger than the stitches were bigger than the body. But now it's washed, it's not so obvious anyway. And I actually have sleeves and I actually have a cardigan.
You're actually wearing it.
Yeah.
So that's awesome.
Yeah, the pattern had lace along the sleeves, but again, the pattern have lace along the sleeves all it wants. If it's not done, it's no good to me. So
yeah. Now you've knit a fair amount of stuff in cotton. You see, cotton, I haven't done a lot of garment knitting in cotton, and now Rachel doesn't really want to wear wool because she said scratches, and wants more things in cotton, hence my mad swatching and all the rest.
yeah.
And your stuff's worn quite well.
Yeah, so this is cotton, rayon and linen. I looked it up before. I think the pattern called for something like that anyway. And it's a rowan yarn. Now the difficulties of cotton is that it's nigh on impossible to weave the ends in and have them not
show.
show. But I've had this sort of 2.5 years, and I wash it in the washing machine, and all is fine. And then my other cotton one that's had a lot of wash and wear is the Windlass from one of the early pom-pom magazines, and this is just cotton. And again, you can see it's got some variation in the stitches because it doesn't block out like it does with wool, but it doesn't really matter if the whole thing's just like that anyway.
And that doesn't seem to have grown ridiculously.
No.
I'm going to give it a go.
I would say with both of mine, if they've done anything, they've shrunk up.
Okay, but they haven't gone out. Okay, alright.
But it will depend how you dry it. If you're after the length, I suppose hang it to dry rather than drying it flat.
This thing seems to be shorter in its time for going.
Yeah. I'm not nearly as fussy about things looking or being perfect as some people seem to be, though.
Well, for Rachel, it's all about how it feels, so we'll see.
Yeah.
I'm going to go change the needle size and give a go on that moisturised cotton and see. It seems to be holding its shape quite well, so I'm going to try that for her, and then I'm going to try it in a wool as another option.
Yeah.
Did you bring any of your sewing?
Yes.
Cara's done lots of sewing. It's like a sewing whiz at the moment.
Yeah, so the most obvious one is my dungaree dress.
Yes.
It's very creased now because I've worn it for 2 days, but I made this just before I left.
Look at that top stitching. It's like gorgeous.
Yeah. And then it's got shway shway South African fabric inside from when you gave me your the not fat quarters
yeah.
for my birthday. I don't even know how to begin to show, but there's the back of it. And this is the Cleo dungaree dress by Tilly and the Buttons, and this is my 3rd one. I'll grab the first one I made because the insides are horrendous.
Do you feel like you've learnt a lot in all of this?
You'll see when you look at this. It's obviously held up because it has been washed and worn, but for starters, I didn't finish any of these hems.
Oh right.
Nothing inside here has been finished in any way.
I need to get a charger. Carry on.
I had to go back and go over with my overlocker on the inside because it was starting to threaten to fall apart. I knew nothing about things like bobbin tension, so where am I looking here? Here, something went wrong with the bobbin tension or whatever, so there is just loads of thread pulled through. Is there room? Is it long enough?
Yeah.
Yeah, look at that.
Oh dear.
And I just left that. I was like, yeah, that's fine. No problem. And yeah, obviously didn't finish any of the insides. I've gone back and remedied as much as I can with my overlocker.
Oh, I see. Okay.
But it's not the best. Look at that. It's just loose inside. So this is the same pattern as the one I'm currently wearing. And I do still wear this a lot because none of the floors are particularly structural. And
you don't see them on the outside?
No, you don't see them from the outside. So that's fine. And then I've also made a cardigan. Here's the thing, sewing is so much quicker than knitting. It is unbelievably quicker than knitting.
This is why Cara isn't only the Knit All the Things podcast anymore.
No. I very quickly wasn't though, because I will do any craft that
You did.
comes my
It just should
way.
be the Craft All the Things
Yeah.
podcast.
So this is a cardigan, and I should have changed threads inside, but I did not.
That's come out nicely. Wait, where do you want to change?
Well, I shouldn't have used pale grey.
Okay. Alright. I see.
Pale grey inside.
Overlocking, right.
Yeah. And I still haven't particularly figured out buttonholes on jersey, so I've just got snaps.
Okay.
And fake buttons.
Cool.
But
And which pattern's that?
Lisbon by Itch to Stitch. I will tell you all of these things when you're writing the show notes. You can have it. But I'm getting up and down. Up and down. The main thing that I've been actually wearing lately is probably my jogging set.
Yes.
Now, I'm using the term jogging here incredibly loosely because no exercise has been done in any of this. And also, most of it's not clean. So, I got the Tilly and the Buttons stretch book because I like her patterns, basically.
Mm-hmm.
I think they can be quite expensive, the patterns individually, but particularly when I was first sewing, the instructions are very clear and every single step is photographed.
Okay.
So you can see exactly what you're doing for every step.
That might be some useful ones to start Rachel on. Rachel's taking textiles at school and obviously has to do a whole bunch of sewing and things, so that might be good ones too.
Yeah.
They said over the half-term holidays, I'll just get her to sew a whole bunch of patterns just to get used to the idea of how you make things fit and garments and that sort of thing. Yeah.
Her book, the first book, Love at First Stitch, that's got something like 5 patterns in.
Okay.
I think that's not too expensive and it's all woven fabrics.
Alright.
You'll need some greaseproof paper or something to trace off the patterns from the paper at the back.
Yeah.
And it goes on sale periodically. But this is the second book, the stretch book, and I've got a hoodie. This is the exact opposite of clean. I've worn this for several days.
Fits really well though. It looks really nice.
And I had Kath Kidston ribbon lying around, and I thought, that'll do. Just yeah. And this vast majority of it is done on the overlocker, which again is so much quicker than the sewing machine, with some extra reinforcing on the shoulders, and the pocket was done with that. This pocket is not the pocket that comes with the pattern.
Alright.
So the pocket that came with the pattern was ludicrously small. Or in my opinion, if you're going to put a pocket on a hoodie, especially a pullover hoodie, I want enough pocket to actually put both hands in, and my phone, and some snacks. So I traced this off one of Billy's hoodies.
Oh right, okay.
Because if you're going to get a proper pocket on something, it's going to be men's clothes. Yes. So I traced this off one of his hoodies and sewed it on. And so that is what I've got on there. And it is actually big enough to fit my iPad in if I need to.
Oh, excellent.
So
proper.
Yeah, so there's that. And then there's the matching joggers, which again have been worn possibly a week now, so let's not look too closely at any stains. And because joggers are pyjamas, basically, I might wear them to the shops, but they fall under the category of pyjamas. I've got contrasting pockets, which I might not have done if I was wearing them as clothes.
Okay.
And contrasting cuffs on the bottom. And I've got a second pair of these that are exactly the same, but plain black.
That's almost like it's the corduroy stuff.
Yeah.
Very nice.
It's kind of like corduroy. It's not as stretchy as the other ones, but they do also then hold their shape a bit better. And all of this fabric, there's a place near me, can I see it at all? No, there's pictures on my Instagram. It is stripy like corduroy. There's a place near me called the Fabric Guild, and it's like a fabric warehouse basically, and they have loads of stuff for, most of it's for quilting, but they do sometimes have dressmaking clothes in there. And so this grey fabric I think was £3 a metre.
Oh wow.
They do other ones for £2 a metre. I think this might have ended up being more like £5 a metre, but that's still not expensive considering what I've seen for jerseys, because I know that this stuff, something stupid like £20 a metre. Obscene.
Yeah.
And then this denim was also £3 a metre.
Oh, excellent.
So it's not often that sewing it yourself is cheaper than going to the shops.
That's the thing, isn't it? You used to be used to sew your own clothes because you couldn't afford the clothes in the shop. Now it's certainly not the case.
Yeah, because this fabric was cheap, but I still needed to have had a sewing machine, got the right top stitching thread, because I used 1.5 spools of top stitching thread, because you don't get much in a thing.
And this is proper denim top stitch stuff.
Yes.
Very nice. Very neat.
Because I looked, and you see here, all denim seems to have some variant of yellow.
I think that's what gives it that finished look, isn't it? What did somebody say? Something can look handmade. You just don't want it to look terribly homemade. There's a kind of a difference between it sort of looking... You can be proud of something you made, you just don't want it to look...
Yeah. But then this was... Do I actually have a picture on here? Yes, I do. This is... I did a practice top stitching on one that was just plain black that I made for work. Because any mistakes, black on black, not terribly obvious, but it was still top stitching thread.
Okay.
So it was still practicing the same skills.
Yeah, so hopefully over the half term Rachel and I will do a bit more. Past the half term my mum will still be here, so hopefully she can do a little bit of sewing with her as well. And my dad's been doing quite a bit of art with her, so she's been enjoying having my parents here. And they're at my sister at the moment. And we are off to the very dangerous IKEA tomorrow. Yeah.
I'm just looking forward to some dame cake and some veggie balls, you know?
Yes, there is that. That is true. Are you out of things to show?
I mean, there's always the Cozy Memories blanket, but I don't know.
The ever ongoing for everybody Cozy Memories blanket.
I know people have finished theirs, but how do you decide when it's done? Is the thing.
I suppose if you're making it like double bed size and you've made it that size, then I suppose then you...
I've just kind of resigned for myself that I'll just keep adding things because there's always more sock yarn.
Yes.
So I think this section is newer. This top section here is newer. And this section here is newer.
Okay.
So
you also do the occasional big ones on yours.
Yes, I do. I think there are 3 big ones on there. Oh, the section that actually is pretty cute is this corner here is my Christmas section.
That's Christmas section. Here. And when you add on, do you always add on either a red or a green or something?
I don't know. I think the Christmas section's done now. It's a square.
Now. Okay.
So I think I'm just going to call that
done.
A complete Christmas section. But yeah, it's so cute. Most of my ends are woven in. Most of them are.
Oh, you're doing so much better than me.
It's pretty much just the outside edge of ends that aren't woven, because I use them to anchor the new square sometimes.
Yes. No, I haven't. My ends are terrible.
But I've got plenty of scraps still to use.
Still to go, yes.
One day it will outgrow this bag. It will happen, but...
While it still fits, hey?
It still fits.
Yeah.
I can't just leave it on the sofa is the problem, because I'm usually mid-square.
Ah.
And so I wouldn't do it, but Billy would 100% sit on it and bend my needles.
I've had needles being bent before. I have one other thing to show.
Oh, is that shop?
It is. This is called Conscious. And it is a shampoo bar. And it's called Handmade, Natural and Vegan. And I found them on, well, actually, one of you that watched the podcast, Stephanie, when I spoke about the shampoo bars last time, mentioned this. And it is a small business in England, and I could buy directly from them. And it was less expensive than some of the high street.
I was going to say, how does it compare to Lush?
I think Lush is like
£6 for a bar.
Well, when I last looked, it was £7 to £9 for a bar online. These were £6.
Right. I think that's bigger. It's definitely bigger.
Yeah. So this is the pink one called Swell. I was going to use it in the shower today, and then I thought, actually, no, I'll just save it quickly.
It has stamping on it, doesn't it?
Yes. We can open this bit now. And then it's got a stamp on it. Like that.
I don't think that smells the one for me, but...
Well, I was trying. This smells like geranium, doesn't it? There is two... that smells of... I don't know, what does it say on it? I ordered 2 different kinds. I gave one to my mother and one to me. You're supposed to dilute it. You've got to fill it up with water. It's concentrated.
Condition your hair, massage it in, and then rinse.
So they say something about the pH. The shampoo bar does something. And then for a conditioner, you want to put the pH back to neutral or something.
It comes with her.
So then you order one of these separately because you can use lots of these.
Yeah.
And this is the only plastic they sell, but it's made from 30% recycled plastic.
Right.
And you should be able to keep this and just change the bottles. And these are aluminium and...
Do you send those back to them?
I don't know. That would be sensible, wouldn't it? But you can recycle these.
You could message them and ask, because I bet they can wash it and reuse it.
Do you think it would look a bit dingy? Well, if they could send it back to me.
Because the order is reduce, reuse, then recycle. Like,
yes.
Recycling's all well and good, but
you've actually got to reduce.
You've got to do something with it still.
Anyway, so this you're supposed to spray this on afterwards.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. Apparently your hair takes a little while to get used to using it, like the changeover to shampoo bar and stuff. So we'll see. And next time I can report back on how it all went. I thought I'll show you when it's all pretty instead of me having it dripping, half used.
I use a shampoo bar at home.
Yeah.
Mine's from Lush just because that was where I was. And I can smell it.
Yes.
I'm very picky about how things smell.
There are 3 different ones. I was going to get the yellow one, which seemed like the most neutral, citrusy kind of one, but that was out of stock. And then there was the blue one, which I think they said was more sort of musky, sort of men's smell.
Surely musky can't smell clean.
I don't know.
I don't know.
And then there was this one, and then there was the yellow one, which is out of stock.
Yeah.
So I think possibly, and I wanted to get, because I got another set for my mum's birthday. Essentially, that was the time thing that I needed to get it now, because her birthday was on Friday. I think in future I'll probably try the yellow one.
Right.
Which I think is kind of a lemony, neutrally citrusy one, which I think is probably where I'll land up. But I thought I'll try this one. Yeah. I don't mind the pink too much. It smells geranium-ish.
I should imagine it's
geranium.
Slightly different when wet anyway.
I think it's got geranium in it. I don't mind geranium smell. It's got that rose geranium smell. Yeah. Anyway, so that's what I've got, and you get it with your protective stuff, and the thing is paper, which is quite cool.
They did a soap dish as well, didn't they?
Maybe.
I think I followed them after I saw that you'd posted about them, and they do a soap dish.
Oh, that you can hold it on. That might be a good idea. At the moment I've got one that doesn't drain, and that I find makes my soap soggy. The perfect ones, I should have brought more from South Africa, are actually an abalone shell, because it's got the natural holes in the top, and so it drains really well.
Okay.
And I've got some holding some jewellery in my dressing room, so I might actually take the jewellery out of there and put the abalone shell.
You did have one in the kids' bathroom.
There is
right?
No.
Oh, it's still there.
The soap container in the kids' bathroom is the abalone shell. So yes, I will tell you how that goes next time. And we're busy kind of chatting about maybe getting a giveaway for the podcast.
Oh,
which might be quite nice. So once I've given it a try and reviewed it, then we'll hopefully have an option for
maybe a code.
Yeah, everyone else to try. Cool. So that's what I got this week, and I'll tell you more about it next time. And now I've run out of things to talk about because I'm done.
Did you want to talk about yarn festivals?
The dilemma of yarn festivals. Cara and I were talking. I know Vivian had said, she always keeps looking out for me at yarn festivals. And Cara and I have had this talk many times. I think there are a bracket of people, and some people will identify with it and some people won't, that the idea of a yarn festival is fantastic, but it's just not within our price range. It's just not within a budget point that we could attain. And I'm not saying that they're more expensive than they're worth, or they're not worth the money if you can afford them. But certainly I always think how much yarn I could have got.
And aside from that, I could have gone on a holiday with my partner.
Yeah, yeah. It would be a lot of money for me to do that as an individual when we don't particularly afford to go on holidays as a family either, you know. So I would feel, especially those that are further away. I'm not talking about those that are close by, because I mean,
you're at least close to London.
And there are some that I could do that were fairly close by that wouldn't be as expensive. I certainly couldn't do any of the classes. I can't pay £70 for a class. It's not within my budget. And again, I'm not saying it's not worth for people that can pay that, and the things that you would learn, I'm sure it's great. But it's not within my price point at this. I kind of think how much yarn I could have bought for.
Oh, is it dead? No.
For that amount.
Yeah.
And I mean, I would love to go to the Edinburgh Yarn Fest. But a lot of people have said to me, "Oh, you know, you've got to come and I'll see you there and stuff." No. It's too far. So the transport and then staying.
Yeah,
and then,
it's multifold, isn't it? Because you've got to pay to get there, whether you drive and park or get on the train. It will cost a lot of money. You've got to pay to stay when you get there. And then
pay to eat.
Pay to eat. What's the point of going to a yarn festival if you're not going to buy yarn?
Yeah.
So then you need money for yarn. And yeah, it's a lot of money. And I'll say it because I don't think people would be offended if I said it. I'm not sure there's any class anyone could put on that I could not figure out for myself with YouTube or a book for free.
Yeah. Some people like to learn in person, and
yes.
That's great. And I think there's also a community spirit of learning together and doing all these sorts of things. And if you, excuse me, if you do have the money, and it isn't too far from you, and those kind of things aren't a sticking point, it can be really nice to learn in person.
Yeah.
But for me, it would have to, I don't know, because I would much rather think if I could buy a sweater's quantity of yarn for a new design. So it's really difficult because I understand, and again, it's like paying for handmade things or paying for hand-dyed yarn. Yeah. I completely 100% understand the value in all of those things and supporting handmade and stuff. But I guess there are different budgets for different people. And I suppose it was just to kind of talk about it, because maybe not a lot of people do necessarily want to say, "Oh, well, that sounds really nice. We can't afford it," or whatever. Yeah. So just to sort of encourage knitters that it doesn't completely have to be an exclusive club of only people with a bit more money, and that you don't have to feel bad if you can't afford some of the things. It is still a craft that can be enjoyed, I think, with a lot less money. So you don't have to buy very, very expensive hand-dyed skeins. That's of course lovely, but you can also knit with more commercial or acrylic or blends, or there are a lot of stuff that is at a cheaper price point. And I think we've got to sometimes maybe not let the yarn snobbery stand in the way of what people can access, and then also being able to enjoy the craft at the point they can.
Yeah,
so,
or wait for a code, or...
Yes.
Maybe win a giveaway.
Yeah.
Although share your scraps with a friend.
Yes, for a scrappy blank, I must admit that I've got so many of my cozy memories blanket from swapping with other people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you I see people on Instagram who manage to get so many skeins of lovely, lovely yarn, and I don't feel that way anymore, and I would like no one to feel like they need to keep up with that. It's fine to never knit with fancy yarn, or do your one nice pair of socks a year.
Yeah. And to still feel like you can show your stuff and be proud of it.
Yeah.
You know, because people can quickly, if something's got something acrylic or more commercial or whatever, be a bit, turn your nose up a little bit at it.
Like Drops Fabel Fable, don't know, is a sock yarn, and it's possibly £2.50 a ball, so £5 for the pair of socks, and it's really nice self-striping yarn. It's equivalent to Regia or Opal, which are still cheaper than other ones, and it's Wool Warehouse, so they've often got codes.
Yeah. So yes, I think knitting can be very expensive, but I don't think it has to be. And I think festivals and get-togethers and these kind of things are fantastic because it really does make the sense of community.
Yeah.
But again, there are some people maybe like us that can't afford to go. And you'll just have to put up with seeing us on YouTube. Yeah. I mean, essentially we're a single income household. While I do a bit of the patterns and things like that, I've always been homeschooling the kids, and until Titus does or doesn't go to school with his various disabilities, it may or may not be that I could work more, but at the moment that's not a reality. So, you know, yeah.
And even work more, it's incredibly hard to make a wage in this industry, like a living wage in this industry.
Yeah. So, yes.
Maybe one day.
Maybe one day, yes. People are always welcome to come down here and knit with us.
We'll find a cafe.
Yes, we should do that again, actually, while my mum's here, maybe. With Sheldine and my sister go and knit on the weekend at the cafe or somewhere. That was quite nice. Yeah. So, yeah, maybe some people want to share their experiences or just kind of say if they feel the same way or whatever, but it was just to kind of make people feel like it's okay or not to feel bad if you can't always afford all the really posh stuff. And if you can, then don't feel bad about that either. You know, that's your reality's different, and that's fine. So yeah, one day maybe we'll go to a yarn festival.
I think the Knitting and Stitching show was down in London this weekend at Pally Pally.
Yeah. I know, I think someone sent me a link to that too. I think also, even if that was closer and it wouldn't be as expensive for me to get there and I wouldn't need to stay in, blah, blah, I would just feel sad how much stuff I couldn't buy.
Yeah.
Like there wouldn't be much point in going and just making myself absolutely miserable.
Yeah, because it's not that I don't want to go to a yarn fest and buy lots of yarn. I really, really do. I just haven't found myself an incredibly rich husband yet, is the problem.
Yeah.
Or a very well-paying yet part-time job.
That would be nice too, yes. I want to mostly be paid to knit at my own pace the things I want to when I want to. Yeah.
Just paid to exist.
Yeah. Oh well. As we dream of these non-existent pots of money coming our way, maybe we have to play the lottery or something. Do you play the lottery?
No, because it's calm.
No, exactly. So there isn't even any chance of loads of money coming our way anytime soon. No. Right. Well, on that very on that sad note, we're going to sign off and go and have some coffee.
And some lunch.
That's true. Gosh, what's
I'm rumbling away now.
Oh, are you? Yes. It's well and truly lunchtime. It's possibly why Titus was wandering in and out earlier on. He's probably just hungry.
Yes.
Let me go and feed the small person. And it was very nice to have you on the podcast. We'll have to do it again when you visit.
Or figure out Skype.
That's true. We could figure that out. The sort of split screen thingy. Yeah. Because you Skype and then you record the Skype session.
I think so. I don't actually know. I'll ask Billy, actually.
Okay.
Because he does his Dungeons and Dragons game. No one he knows will watch this, so it's fine. No one can laugh at him for being a mega nerd. He does his Dungeons and Dragons game over Skype, and I know they put it up online somewhere.
Okay.
Afterwards.
Right.
And obviously people do it. There are knitting podcasts where people do it. So there is a way. It's whether there's a way for us to do it for free is the issue.
Yes. Without needing any more technology than what we've got. Yeah. Why do I feel like I've left? No. Sorry, I was counting stitches suddenly. Alright, well we'll see you next time. And thanks for watching. Bye.